Okay, so we're back. This is the exact how-to. We're going to be doing the recessed box right inside the wall here. This is what we're going to be showing you. This is where we're at so far. Sorry about the clutter. We had showed you the tile shower the other day, so we were almost finished with that. We went ahead with our wood and our metal wrap and brought that all the way around. We've got the whole bathroom done in it. So that'll be going all the way around the entire room. But this is what I was going to show you here. So we already have our dimensions ready to go. What I'm going to do is we're going to show you a close-up here of what's going on. My tub is roughly going to end right here at the front end and end down here. So this box is pretty much going to be in the center of this soaking tub. So I wanted it about 1 foot tall. The height of the soaking tub comes right about here. So when you're sitting down in there, you'll easily be able to reach up here and grab stuff, or, you know, again, pretty for some nice LED candles or anything like that. Would be great for up here. So we wanted our box finished out at 1 foot tall. So exactly 1 foot here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get this drywall cut out, and we're going to see what's behind here and see what we might have to deal with. So once you get your measurements for everything, just figure out what you got coming in. And of course, you know, shrink that or make it even to however you want to do that. This is what works best for us in this situation. We're going to be dead center of the tub. So we're going to cut this right out, and we're going to bring you right back after we cut it out and show you what's going on behind the wall. Okay, so all we've done, now that we've got the wall open, we kind of figured out a few things. And let me point out a couple of things. Normally, what we would do to make this whole stretch go the distance is we would take 2x4s, and where the next 2x4 is in line over here, we would simply cut this guy high and low, get him out of the equation, and just rebuild our box, tying this back over to here, and then we would still have pressure points. That's how we would open that up. Because we are in a prefabbed home and everything is set on 2-foot centers, we don't really want to take this guy out of the equation. It's not a load-bearing wall, but we just really don't want to take him out. The way a lot of these homes are put together, there's 500 staples on the other side of this 2x4. And we really don't want to get into the other side of the wall with doing all that. So we're going to keep this guy in play, and we're going to make 2 separate boxes instead. Electric is another reason why we have a problem. So no big deal. We're just going to make the 2 separate boxes. And if you want to make the whole stretch, again, you would just cut this guy out of the equation. So we found our other stud back over here. We had already, when we opened this up, we had measured from this stud inside of here to here, and that's where we dropped this guy in. Now, I've secured him on this other side. We're putting the header plate now, and then we're going to put in our 2 side pieces, and this guy will be done. We're going to end up putting drywall back over this once we build these sides and beef it up some, and then we'll end up trimming that out later. So this is kind of what you need to do. Send this plate up here, get it in behind the drywall, and then we're going to get him level. And that will be our that'll be our top plate for this. Sometimes these guys are a pain to get inside there where you need it. So you got it. There we go. You just got to keep messing with it, and eventually he'll catch. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I've got this one up here exactly where he needs to go. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot a screw in this side to keep him still, because the more I tap this side, the more it wants to go up, and then I won't be able to get him back down. Actually, a little trick to get him down, I'll go ahead and show you this too. Take you a little screw while you got him in here. Let's see. Something like this be fine, a little 2-inch screw. Take him in here, get him started. Just like that. Then you can always take a pair of pliers or your hand and you can pull that guy out where you needed him. So just you hold on to him here. Now when I hit this side, see, it won't go up. So I was going to go ahead and shoot a screw in there and just let it hold it, but there you go. If you get one up here past the wall and you can't figure out how to get him back down, just shoot a screw up in there. That way you can pull it down to where you need. We have got this guy pretty tight, really tight actually. Wanted him that way. You don't want any slack up here whatsoever. You want everything to be really good and tight in between the studs. There we go. Just like that. And we are even and flush with the drywall. Now I'm going to go ahead and screw this guy. And it's always a good idea. The drywall is sitting there staring at you. So that doesn't shift or move, go ahead and pop you. Just like that. That'll hold it right here to the drywall. Now you can do one of two things. You can finish this out and end up painting this. We're actually going to do something different here. We're going to end up putting a tile border all the way around this. And then we're going to run tile here on our shelving. And then of course the backdrop of this is going to be epoxy. Just like that. We got our top, we got our bottom. There's no really water danger any over here in this area, so we're not worried about wrapping none of this stuff, making it waterproof or anything like that. Once you get those two up in there, it's down to your side pieces now. I'm going to go ahead while this is exposed, and I'm going to go ahead and get a screw from this other side. Since all the screws are holding this front side really well, so I'm going to make sure that this screw that I sink into this is going to be more towards the back. And we're going to get him to hit right in here where he's supposed to. Just like that. Now you can reach up here and you can pull that screw right back out. So, just like that, you know, it all depends on what you're trying to do. Our end result, we're going to put two sidewalls here, like I said, same thickness and everything. This is going to be our end result. We're going to bring that tile shower over there. We're going to bring that tile right over here and put that right into play, just like that. And he's going to wrap this guy on the outside. And then this is going to sit right in here and act like our shelving. And we're going to case that guy out just like that. So the whole purpose of this 3D box is just to give yourself a platform here, something solid to get everything squared up. These boxes are really, really super easy to do. And they're a lot of fun, and they just really class up things and give them a totally different perspective than before. So it's a lot of extra work, but it's really cool when it's done. So I'm just trying to give you an idea here. We're going to have that wrapped all the way around. The epoxy will sit back here in the back. And of course, we're going to walk you through everything. I was just showing you what we're trying to accomplish with ours. You can do yours any way you want. You can use tile to wrap that. You can use epoxy and actually do the inner part of your box and the backdrop and wrap it with something different. You can do epoxy for the whole thing. We're going to make our epoxy just in the backdrops. And then we're going to tile on the header, the bottom here on the shelf, and then of course on the trim part of it. So our next step now, we're going to get two walls up here so that this side of the box is done. That's going to add the 1x4 right here, that's going to add 3/4 of an inch or so. And then once we add the 3/4 on the other side, that's how much drywall I need to go back with here to make this evenly so that our tile is going to separate these two guys and trim them out. So we're going to go ahead and get these two sidewalls put in, and then we'll bring you right back and show you this other side, and we're going to dodge this outlet as well. Okay, so we've got the whole right side of the box done, and we're closing in on the left side. So as you can see, our joist was back here. What I want to show you, you know, you don't want any movement on the back side, and because I just shot the screws in the front here, we did toenail inside. Here's one right here for you if you can see it. We're toenailing up in and up in all these corners to keep the movement on the back side of this from happening. So I was just letting you know, some are easier to get to than others, but simply screw that guy right up in there just like that, and everything is just tight and snug. So we've got both of our boxes. We decided not to move this outlet. We could move it over an inch, but what we thought about, since this is a 1x4, it's truly a 3/4, we're just not going to put a 3/4 here on this side, which will give us just a 1/4 inch off of the exact opening, which is no big deal. So we'll just adjust the tub an 1/8 of an inch down to this direction, and that will split that difference, and it will be perfect. So probably a good idea before you get ready to do these boxes, see on the other side of the wall and see what might be there. It really wouldn't have mattered for our sake. We knew that this outlet was probably going to be right here in the way from the laundry room side, but this is where we had to have it. So if you do have options and you can move it one place to another and it really doesn't matter, check on the other side first before you get started. That way you'll probably go into a safe spot and not find a bunch of outlets and things. So we're going to close up our last guy right here. We're going to make a bridge right here, and then we're going to drywall this back and show you the end result of it, and then we'll of course show you the backdrop of the epoxy and how we're going to do that. Okay, so there it is. Just showing you here the last little finishing touch. There's the rest of our box. We got the header up there and everything. So we timed ours out. You can do the same. We timed ours out to where the tile is literally, if anything, we'll have to cut. So when we put in the backdrop here of the epoxy, this will no longer sit in here and be, of course, that flush. We'll rip the back side off that and hang it accordingly. But this right here will already be perfect, as you can see. And it's just going to set really, really nicely when we get this guy in here and get him done. So just like that, you can kind of picture how we're going to do that and send those over there. And we're going to have one right here dead center, kind of dividing these two as well. So there it is. Now that we've got the box built, we've already got our tile and everything that we've chose to use for inside and then to trim it out with on the wall part. So now part 2 video is we're going to show you how to make these backdrops to where they sit in here, the thickness we use, everything plays a role. So we're going to get into all that and show you what's going on. But this is where we're at so far. It's really coming together. Again, despite the mess, we've got a little ways to go. This video will be out late next week. We took that all the way around the door, like I told you before, and we shot that literally all the way around. We're coming all the way around the bathroom with it. There it is back there as well. Then we're going to pick up over here behind the toilet and actually incorporate that in. But before we can put that in, the top really needs to go on so we can measure off that. And then we've got a cool little surprise up over the countertop coming. So just want you to see where we're at, how that's going to go. She'll end up with 3 shelves back here, probably a hamper of some sort down here on the bottom. And then that first shelf will kick off there. Second shelf, and then her upper shelf there. And then that's going to come on around, and we'll have the garden tub sitting right about here, the head of it, and down there by the foot, it's about even right about there. So this guy's going to end up being smack positioned right in the center. Then, of course, we're going to be going in with life-proof flooring throughout the whole place. So really eager to get to the next part of it and show you all how to put all this together and make it all come together. So we're done with this portion of the video. We'll have the next video out here real soon. Be looking for it. It'll be part 2, how to do the backdrop for the recess. And as usual, thanks for tuning in. See you next time. All right, good morning, everyone. Eric Hoagland, General Contractor. Happy Saturday. So, a couple things. This is part 2 of our video. The recess boxes that we're building inside the wall of that custom bathroom. And we're showing you how to do the epoxy part of it. So, here is both of our pieces here. Remember, we split that into two different shelves that we're going to be putting in. So, these are both of our backdrop pieces. And what I want to show you, a couple different things before we get started. We've already got ours cut to fit. This is 1/2 inch birch. All that is, very solid surface. And the reason I went with 1/2 inch is we're thinking about our tile, and the thicker we make this guy, the less shelf space you're actually going to have in that area. So we went with 1/2 inch birch. And for the roller selection, this is a 1/4 inch mohair nap. And the reason we use this mohair, it's very tight all the way around. And we actually took some, it's a good idea to take some painter's tape, wrap that guy up and unravel that, and that'll take any loose fibers right off that nap before we get started. Now, a lot of people ask this question, and I hear people all the time ask this question about what paint should they use to do their project with. So I want to direct you right here. This is what we use. We use Behr Marquee products from Home Depot. And the reason being, right there where it says enamel. So, the benefit about enamel's actually going to soak down into this guy and penetrate the surface, leaving a beautiful shine here on top. Okay, the difference between an enamel and an acrylic. Anytime we have ever used acrylic paints look vibrant in color. They look a lot of things until you put them on something like a piece of wood or your piece. They just don't have enough pigment in there to bring that vibrant color to life. So with the enamel, your color is really going to pull up off this piece and shine, because we all know when we put resin on something, it's going to magnify it. Well, the enamel really helps bring that inner glow out. And Behr Marquee is one of the best paints on the market as far as quality, consistency, and it really has, if you ever look at Behr Marquee and dip a brush down in that and pull it up, watch the oil like come off that brush. It's so thick. Other paints are really kind of runny and watery. So that's why we use this particular paint. So let's go ahead and get started. All we've done is we've cut these to fit, shaped them up here for our sizes. So whatever sizes you're working with. And one more helpful tip, let me help you with something. For those of you watching this, please don't get ahead of yourself and make your boxes first and then try the trick of going in, putting them on the wall and tracing them out. Because just like yesterday in our first part 1 video, we had an idea of putting the whole shelf the 4 feet in length, and we were stopped by an outlet and a 2x4 and a couple other things. So always a good idea to make the box first, then you can actually make your pieces when you 100% know they're going to fit. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to get first coat of white on these guys, and it's going to take 2 coats, possibly 3. It all depends on how the second coat ends up looking and how it ends up turning out. So all I do here, I can't really stick this guy in here. I just pour a little bit out right on the surface there, just like that. We'll clean him right up. And all you want to do is just like you're painting a wall. It's literally that simple. Just start moving that guy around. And the thing with an enamel is if you start and stop a bunch of different places, you can leave a lot of lines from your stop and start. Anything in there that you happen to see, get it out. Just pull it right out there with your finger. So obviously we need a little bit more here. That should do it. We'll get this spread around real good. Like I said, it's very, very thick. It's a very thick paint, and it just really, you'll notice a big difference over any other paints you've ever tried to use. You'll notice a big difference in the Bear Marquee. It's just a lot thicker, but it is kind of timed out, if you will. You don't want to keep running over stuff. This stuff dries a lot quicker than most paints I've seen. So once you get it applied and everything looks really good and situated, then you just want to go ahead and kind of leave it alone, because this is one of those paints, once it starts to take effect and starts the drying process, if you go back in and try to touch it, you're actually going to cause bad spots in the paint, and you'll have to wait, let that dry, sand it out, and then fix all that. So we're going to go ahead and get the edges painted as well, even though they're not going to show. So we're just locking in, you know, everything in this wood, so we won't have any problems later. But this is an easy little trick. We're probably going to end up putting just 2 coats on here instead of the third one, because the way this looks already, it's going to be just fine. So that is what we are going for. We're going to let that sit there, and we're going to let that dry. We're going to go ahead and do our other one. We will be coating this again, so same application there. We're going to bring you back after the second coat is completely dry, and we're going to show you how we're going to put these black marble veins on here and get ready for the seal coat, followed by the flood coat. Be back shortly. All right, so here we go. We are getting ready to put the veins on this guy. You all have seen in a few of my videos. So this is the marble effect. This is the Montana marble effect. You can get this off Amazon. This is the black. So what we did was position these 2 guys as I'm looking at them, as they would be on the wall. And we put that distance in there that we already have dividing these 2. So when I go to pop these veins in, we're going to get a continuous all the way through to the next piece. That way when we install them, it transitionally looks like they went over the gap and picked right back up on the other side. So that was the look we were going for. Anyway, real cool to use and do. This is all done, of course. We did 2 coats of the enamel, Bear Marquee, and then now we're going to shoot over this and put these black veins in, and then we're going to move on to the seal coat. So we're not going to do a boatload in here, but enough to say hello and get the point across, just because we're smaller pieces. You want to shake this guy really well too, so he comes out good for you. So, and there's really no rhyme or reason. It's just make sure to keep moving. You want to start before you actually hit the piece, and you want to keep going past the piece so that everything gets hit. Just like that one. And then we're gonna, since we got that to go across, we're gonna try to put one right up through here and go out the back side. Just like that. We caught that little tail whip here. And now I'm gonna bring one this way, right across this guy. Just like that. Well, we might add a smidge more. We're not even gonna, I like the way that one turned out. I'm gonna send one more through right here, and we're gonna whip right into this back side. Just like that. There we go. That's the way we're gonna leave ours. Again, it's all about just the fast of the motion, how fast you go, which angle you're doing, how far away you are. all those play a role as to how your veins are going to look. So that is it on this part. We've got this applied. This will take about 30 minutes to take effect and actually thicken up, be dry, so that we can actually apply our seal coat. So we will be right back to get started on the seal coat. And when we put that on, you'll really see what I'm talking about. It's really going to lift this white up off this board, and we're going to get a really deep effect in something so very small. All right, welcome back, everybody. Eric Hoagland, General Contractor. This is our part 2 video. We are going to get these guys seal coated now that all the graphics are in place. The 2 coats of white were put down. So everything turned out really nice. We've got everything level on the table. Make sure you do so, even if you need to use some shims to get something correct. So we're going to apply the seal coat now. We're using Pro Marine tabletop resin for our choice to go over the top. So we're going to get right onto it. I'm going to show you a little tip here with pouring your resin to help you see a little better. So a good little tip we've already got, we just need 8 ounces total, and it's a 1-to-1 ratio. We already have 4 ounces in here. You know, despite your lighting, however much light you may have, even if it's very bright, just from being in a container and everything, shadows and all that stuff that play a role, really good, helpful tint there. Helpful tip, there you go. Put a light behind what you're doing. That way you can clearly see exactly where you are. It just makes it a lot easier to see. So really helpful tip there. Put a light of some sort right in behind there, and you can see just fine. Won't have any problems getting that ratio correct. All right, so we've got everything mixed up. And again, this is just a seal coat. So this is where all your imperfections and all that can happen. We don't need a whole lot on here. We're just going to put a nice clear finish right over this. That's more than enough. And I just have one of these. They're plastic. We're just gonna get this guy nice and coated. Lay right over those graphics. Just like that. So all we're going to do now, once we get these guys coated here, we're going to let them sit for about a half an hour or so. We're going to babysit them, of course. We will take a very small amount of heat, probably about 14 inches away from the surface here, and we will get any imperfections, any bubbles out like that, where we're at in this stage. So we'll bring you right back here shortly, just as soon as we get this finished, and we'll show you how to get any of the bubbles or anything like that out and move on to the next step, which is flood coating them. Okay, so we have got the seal coat applied. Turned out awesome. These guys are going to look really good when we put them in as the backdrop inside the wall. Next video we're going to put out is the flood coat on these guys, and then the install. As usual, thanks for watching. We'll be back real soon. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is our part 3 video. For those of you just now seeing this, part 1 and 2, how to build it inside the wall and how to build these guys and get the seal coat on. We already have those videos out. So this is part 3. This is going to be the final one. This is the flood coat. And then we're going to be showing you the install finished out and everything. So right to it. I'm just going to take a piece of sandpaper here. This is 220 grit. And all you want to do is just lightly buff over your area here. Take out any imperfections you might have. If you had a bubble or something come up in the seal coat, this is where all that needs to come out. And then on top of this benefit of laying down the graphics and getting everything nice and smooth, it's going to adhere that flood coat real well. So just like that. And what I clean this with is 91% isopropyl. So after I'm done here, we're going to take a shop vac and we're going to get all this dust off, and then we're going to put just a spritz or two on each one here and clean these off and let them dry. Then we will be ready to mix and do our flood coat. All right, so with the flood coat, it is just that. We've got enough here to pretty much coat the whole piece, both of them. We're gonna get some on the other one here. Just like that. So I like my flood coat to actually cover, so I make sure it's going to cover. I'll get it all the way close and get those little edges there. There we go. We're going to catch this other one up here. So I'm looking for a nice 1/8 or so, 1/8 of an inch on top. It's gonna look really good recessed inside the wall. So just like that. We're gonna let these pieces sit up, and we're going to grab any of the bubbles out that are coming, and then we're going to let these guys dry for the full time. And right after that, we're going to show you the install from what we've already worked on our part 1 video, putting these guys right in the wall. Okay, so I just want to show you right here on the install part. All we've done was just set him in. We used a product called Power Grab on the back side, or you could use a liquid nail, either or. The Power Grab looks just like that. And it's the 0 second, the instant. So this is definitely the more expensive one. It's about $8 a tube, but bonds like no other, and it will stick that back here. We just pressed firmly to get that to stick. It's even. And now we're going to start our tile process here, going all the way around this guy. So just wanted you to see how we're getting ready to do this. We start the front side first, and we're going to lay the next tile over so we can overlap that edge. Okay, so once you've got your border on there, we've got it all on the outside. The inner is still showing. So now we have already cut these to fit, and now we're going to drop these right down inside, and they're going to fit in there just perfect, just like that. And we're going to cap right over all the way around to make that sit in there just right. So just wanted you to see, do the outside first, and then make sure these lay over that edge, because then we're going to take a oil rub bronze PVC piece of scribe, and we're going to wrap these guys just like we did right there. So just wanted you to see how we're going about that, tying that in. All right, so there you go. Our boxes are completely finished and in play. There's our nice, pretty soaking tub. So everything came together really nicely right over the top. She's already got a couple of things sitting up there on the shelves. We've trimmed out our boxes, as you can see. Just really pulled everything together. If you want to see how we did this from start to finish, and this is the first time you are actually seeing this video, we have all the first, second, and third video already out of how to actually make these boxes inside the wall, how we built the squares and how we epoxied them and how we brought everything together here for the finish. So all out there for you already. All you got to do is watch it. We will have the rest of this bathroom here done real soon. You'll be seeing the countertop we've got here across the way. We're still finishing up, so it won't be that much longer, but wanted to go ahead and get the how-to video here completely out here, how to do these boxes in your house. And you can put these just about anywhere, bathroom, kitchen, down a hallway, doesn't matter. Really brings it together. So as usual, thanks for watching. We'll be back real soon for the rest of it.